Sperano and I this weekend worked on Let's Brew. Before I get into what it does, a little bit of background. 4 years ago I decided to start brewing because really I love beer. And when we asked people who were interested in home brewing why they wanted to do it, they said they love beer too. And they also said it sounded like a fun thing to do. It would sound like a great learning process. It's a good chance to be creative and try new flavors and styles of beer. And mostly they really wanted to do it for a sense of accomplishment and to share it with their friends. But it's not an easy process to get into, this home brewing. What a typical home brewing starter kit looks like is something like this. A little bit scary, right? The most common response we got on our survey to why people hadn't tried home brewing yet was a lack of understanding the equipment and processes involved, the amount of space they need to take up. I mean, obviously this kind of stuff is going to really take up a lot of space if you have a basement to put it in. And the money involved. These kits range from like $100 to $400. And that's not an insignificant investment for something that you're just kind of thinking about doing and you might want to do. And then when I looked into the software when I was getting started, this was the best solution out there. This was the industry standard, BeerSmith 1.4. Leave it to computer engineers to take the joy out of brewing. They really solved the science, the problem of figuring out the science of brewing, but like I said, there's really none of the creative and artistic aspects of it. And so in our opinion, these are hardly the ideal tools to get people involved with the home brewing process. So that's why we created Let's Brew. Let's Brew, quite simply, is turning beer fans into brewers. It's a mobile web app, and it's designed to welcome people into the brewing process and create a community of home brewers who appreciate the art and the craft that goes into home brewing. So how does it work? Well, of course, first we create an account, we sign into Let's Brew. The next thing that happens is we help immediately determine the level of experience this person has with brewing. Do they need to understand what the 4 ingredients that go into beer? Do they need to know how to make beer? So if I'm, kind of familiar that water green hops go in there, I can be like, how do I make beer? I get a series of videos here that detail the 6 stages of creating beer, and it also kind of familiarizes the people with the brewing vocabulary. These kind of resources are loaded throughout the app to help understand the different ingredients and provide demonstrations for how to brew. So when the user feels sufficiently educated, they can use this equipment checklist to find out what they need, what they may already have around their kitchen, so they don't need to buy duplicate in a larger kit, and what they can order to complete their entire setup. If I click the question marks next to the items, this is another educational experience where you can find out what exactly this piece of equipment does and its name and what it does. We also are prompting the user to enter a specific size of batch they want to make. Those big kits I showed you before are typically 5-gallon batches, which is far more than most home brewers need. Getting it down to a 1-gallon kit to get them started brings the price down to something like $15 to $20 instead of that $100 to $400 setup that we initially started. So it's a much lower financial barrier to entry. And a 1-gallon kit is perfectly good to upgrade into a 5-gallon kit at some point. So they've got their equipment, they've got their knowledge, now the fun begins. What we kind of created here is a marketplace for user-generated recipes that allow the user to find recipes by style, type, user rating. They can join a recipe of the month type of club and have the recipe sent to their house with the ingredients, connect with friends and other brewers and then store their own recipes. But when they find a brewer they like this featured brew at the top, they can find out more about it, the alcohol content involved, the more deeper statistics like the original gravity, the bitterness units are along the side there. 1 minute left. Okay. And then they can start brewing it by clicking brew it. And they get this tablet interface that lets them swipe to go through the process, mash, boil, ferment, and use the timer on the side there, flick up and down to adjust the timer for different steps in the process. So revenue. Obviously, the people are able to buy these recipes on the site, so obviously our main revenue is selling this equipment and ingredients. For the product rollout, we envision a strategic partnership with a home brewing company or home brewing supply company who can fulfill these orders, do the shipping for us, and keep our costs down to just things like payroll and application hosting on our end. But as far as the market goes, this tool is not only good for the 1 million existing home brewers, but we really hope to get into just people that like craft beer in general. And it's a huge market, it's a growing market, even though the entire beer market is growing down, craft beer is going 15% So that is Let's Brew. We're pretty excited about it, and we think it's a good way for people to just get into the process themselves.
How much of this did you build this weekend, other than the power?
It's all wireframes. It was 2 of us, and so we just kind of decided to work on the user experience and make sure that was solid, and we can have some development after that.
Did you guys stock our inventory, or did you have to get somebody else and just get a referral?
For sure, we definitely have to start. We definitely start just by an affiliate fee. Have somebody else fill the orders for us, do the shipping, do all that, keep our costs down.
How are people going to know that you exist?
How are people going to know that we exist? Well, we'll go to market. Looking at that audience of people that enjoy craft brews. Trying to find channels to market to them, whether it's at bars or magazines, in stores, and app stores would be the other way to get out there. Become part of the Android store, Google Chrome store, the Apple store, just to have that exposure to that market too. There's some competition out there, but nothing back else.
You said you're selling recipes? Is that?
Well, I mean, we're selling the ingredients for the recipe. I'm sorry. So the recipe is there. You can click the order, you get the ingredients for the recipe.
How much are you guys going to pay for if you sell whatever 1 gallon kit?
We didn't get the financial projections that far, but I imagine it would only be a pretty small percentage to keep it at a competitive rate.
There are some inventory costs, aren't there, right? That you're buying, I'm assuming, involved.
Well, no, I mean,
and sending them out small, or making small batches, right?
Well, no, I mean, our plan is to partner with the homebrew supplier so that our system would just feed the orders to them and have access to the orders.
Sure. Barriers to entry.
Barriers to entry into the market.
And what's stopping somebody else from doing this?
What's stopping somebody else from doing this? Nobody has. I'm not sure what's stopping somebody else from doing this. I think it's just a knowledge at this point of what homebrewers are looking for, and what people who are kind of tangentially interested in homebrewing want of our product.
What's the leading way that people get new recipes for your brew right now?
I'd say Google. I mean, there's a number of sites that offer just straight recipes, various databases on the internet and that sort of thing. But otherwise, brewing magazines here.
All right, last question. No more?
Thank you.